Hi, welcome to another edition of On the Lesson Tee with Brad Redding. In lessons that I work with my students, I see a lot of common things with different types of students, but the most common move in golf is this one right here. Clubs tend to move to the inside or below the plane. Lifts the club to the top from there because once that club goes inside, the shaft here gets very flat. If you turn and kept it on that angle, it'd go around his waist. So from there, they need to lift the club up to the top. There'd be a little turning going on once you do that. And the club will tend to come down above that just to help them find the golf ball. So this move on the way down, this over the top move, it's used, that term's used a lot, over the top or outside in, is really a necessity for him to find the golf ball. If he came down the way he went back, he'd hit about 4 feet behind the golf ball. Okay? 4 feet inside the golf ball. He'd never find the golf ball. So they move out this way just to help them find the golf ball. And although it didn't produce the world's greatest golf shot, they did find the golf ball. Now you can see because of what he does, the golf ball definitely moves left because the face is closed. It's not just because his path is that way, outside in. It's more because the face is facing that way. The reason why the golf ball doesn't curve a ton is because the path matches the face. They're both going this way. Okay? And his target actually is about right here. So obviously a pretty far left shot, which played his golf game. Sometimes he would top it because the club came down on that path and that would be more on top of the golf ball. Caught a lot of golf balls towards the heel because when you come from the outside, it's beyond the golf ball. So he gets a lot of golf balls towards the heel. And so my job is to actually reverse that totally. I want him to catch more golf balls towards the toe, center to toe. I want the golf ball to start more to the right, not left. And I want his divot to be a little bit more shallow. His divot at times was very, very, very heavy. At times. Okay? So my goal there has to be set out to fix the real issue. And the real issue is really more things that happen before he ever swings. On the way back, his wrists don't cock, they bend. Well, that'd be a grip issue. And we discussed for him how to fix his grip, and we talked about it, how the heel pad of his hand needs to fold over, of his left hand, versus his thumb. And most people use their thumb a lot. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of videos on how to grip the club. And I highly recommend people that are trying to improve their golf swing to look at their grip issues at first. Well, with that grip issue on the right here, his club shaft actually is at an angle, and that angle there causes some problems too. That angle, okay, only helps that club go back more this way. I think at address, if I drew a line down from the left eye, okay, this is where the shaft should be. It'd be in line with the left eye. And so the golf ball would be a little more forward, out here. And with his hands being more back and the club head being more forward, he may look at me and say, Brad, but my hands are behind the golf ball at address. And actually this gentleman said that to me. And I said, well, it may feel that way because of where you've been, but we showed him later on, and we'll show you the after, that wasn't that way at all. So that helps and leads the club to go more to the inside because of the grip and where the club is here to address. So, what we did there was set our sights on trying to fix those issues. And I developed a little stage for him here, a little station here, for him to really understand what we're going to do. So what I did there was, I've got one shaft on the ground, one alignment stick on the ground, that'd be his target line, one on the angle of the club shaft at address, and one in front, but to the inside of the angle, okay, or inside the target line, to help him reverse this move. So on the way back, although his hands move away here a little bit, the shaft definitely gets more up on the plane. Nowhere near where he was before. As he goes back, he now can turn more. Even though the club's a little bit across the line, I'm not too worried about that at this stage, because I've got to get him to come down much more this way. Now that's a rehearsal, but I've got to get him to feel the club approaching the golf ball from that angle versus that angle. Okay? As it comes through, it'll now be under the back stick and then above the front stick. Very different issues here. Almost like he can't follow through here. Little chicken wing. He's all jammed up. He even told me that, Brad, I want to stop this foot from moving out of the way on the way through. I said, well, it needs to move out of the way, because if you don't, you're going to hit yourself in the left leg. And so he moved that leg a lot. He wanted to get that fixed. And I said, well, we're not going to try to keep your leg in the way. We're going to fix the path of the golf club, which would fix that leg. Alright? So my main goal there was to reverse what he did. He had a loop in his swing. It goes in, it goes up, and it goes over. It goes in, up, and over. In, up, and over. Well, this goes more up. Doesn't quite move in yet. We're going to work on that. But it definitely moves more under. That not only fixed his path, but it fixed his face. It's very open here. Okay, very open. And so the golf ball started more to the right. And as we did more and more of those rehearsals, okay, it got better with the golf ball there. Now, because I fixed his grip, you can see a very big difference in his playing. Over here on the left, the club kind of bisects his middle of his back. Over here, it bisects more of his waist, or, if you will, his hips. Much better posture, much better angle of address. It semi-cocks his wrist now. Pretty straight over here. Okay? And what that helped him do is cock the club much more up along that plane instead of so far inside. And I definitely wanted him to try to exaggerate it, because I told him, I said, if you exaggerate it in a rehearsal, in the real swing, it may not be as where the rehearsal is, but it won't be as bad as where it used to be. So definitely much more up on the plane there. Not where we want it yet, but better. On the way down, much more from the inside. Right in the back of the golf ball, in the center of the face. Okay? And that golf ball is actually going more where he's actually aimed. I'm not too worried about all this area here. Okay? That's going to get better as we work on it. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about what the golf ball did. And he was tickled to death because the golf ball actually went where he was aimed, instead of going sometimes 70 yards left of where he's aimed. So, when it comes to fixing someone's golf swing, I've got to work on the real issues. You can't fix 15 things, but you can and should be able to fix one thing that fixes 10 others. You fix 2 things, now you're fixing 20 other things. You fix 3 things, and that fixes 30 other swing issues. Okay? So I worked on his posture a little bit by changing his grip. Alright? Got the heel pad of the left hand more up on top. we can actually cock his wrist. So we did the grip issue. When we fixed the grip, that also fixed where the club was at address. It went more up his left eye. So like I said, I'm fixing one thing that fixed his posture, fixed where the club was at address. It fixed where the club was from face on, going up through his left eye. It fixed all those things. And then we can work on more of getting his wrist to cock the club more up. That got the club close to being on plane. Not perfect by any means. But I tell you what, that right there is a heck of a lot different in terms of that right there. That's bisecting his left shoulder. This is bisecting his right bicep. This is coming out of his neck and shoulder. This is coming out of his bicep. It actually drops below that too. Now it's more out of his forearm. That's still by his neck. That's way above the plane. That's actually on the plane as far as the club head. At least it's closer. Not perfect by any means. And here's the deal. The face isn't so shut. So the golf ball gets in the air, goes higher, and goes actually where he's aimed versus hitting it dead left. So, again, to me, if you back up and find the real cause of the problem, it tends to fix a lot of stuff. But you can't work on 15 things. You work on 2 or 3 that fix 30 other things. So I thought you'd enjoy a little bit more of a lesson that I give. And stay tuned for the next issue, the next edition of On the Lesson Tee with Brad Redding. Talk to you soon.